Hello, we're back, and we're still playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I hope you've had a good day, and I hope you're having a good morning or whatever time it is for you right now. And I guess let's dive back in. The last thing we've been doing has been trying to quietly assassinate someone in a place where really there should be protection. Alright, let's see. This should be it. Let's hope I didn't click wrong. And we didn't lose half our state. You notice new icons? Yes. I did a few little, a few new emotes and things like that. Yes. Of course, for most people, not many emotes will be oh, right, I should probably switch the keyboard to the right computer. Haha. Okay, yes, we are exactly where I expected us to be. And we're learning to use the cloak. So let's see who is there. Okay, I guess let's get up and try this again. Just leisurely walk forward. Oh no.
I want to talk to you.
That wasn't quite super clean, but I think we just managed to do it.
You Archer shit! Take up your weapon and follow me beyond these walls. Let Odin's favor land where it may.
You dare not break the king's peace here. So fuck you and your god talk. What say you to that?
You are all subject to King Harald's truce. Break his peace and you will be cast out of Alrikstad.
I'll give you no trouble. You were shed into this world without honor, Gorm, and you will leave as a turd, dumped into hell's deepest ditch.
Keep crowing, Eivor. You only make yourself an easier target.
Okay, we don't get to kill him, I guess.
Started. I should find Sigurd.
Okay. So I guess we didn't really do it right either, because they started to see us. I'm not quite sure what we're supposed to do to be less obnoxious. But I mean, I think we did it anyway. Alright, so I guess we have to find Sigurd. Did you figure out how stealth works in this game? Well, as you see, someone said, I want to talk to you, and then we got close enough and they just stopped, so I don't know. It didn't look like a failure just now, but I don't know if there would have been a way to go in there and kill him or not. So we shall see how I do in the future, I suppose. Well, at least this time nobody came for us to kill us. So let's go to the big powwow then. This will take some getting used to with all the... I don't know if it's Norwegian or whatever. Talking of the NPCs. The same thing, you know, we had Greek in Odyssey, so it's not that different. But yeah, that sounds fun. What place is this? That's the trader, probably. Where are we on the map, anyway? Yeah, I guess... What does the bag icon mean? Okay. There are a lot of noises here. Yeah, trader, okay. Oh, we still haven't tried out this Orlog thing. So, I guess we'll try and find Sigurd then. Take it, he's inside there somewhere. Looks like that's where we're supposed to go. Good. Too quiet to understand for you? Oh, the Norwegian. Okay. Seeing that you are actually awake at 7, you'll quickly go to the supermarket. Should be no queues now. Bye. Yeah. Good luck, hunting. Grocery hunting. Take it, you can just go in. Yes. Let's see. I think we're driving the plot.
Tell me Gorm still lives, Eivor.
It pains me to say. He does.
Thank you. His day will come. Oh, gods. I hate long speeches.
Only when you're not giving them.
Many of you knew my father, Halfdan the Black. A great man who achieved great things.
They buried Halfdan's leg near our temple. The crops have never grown tall.
They buried his arse near ours, and we get nothing but a muddy river.
I dream of something greater. A vast kingdom of warriors in numbers the world has never seen. United under one king, one rule. Too much blood has been spilled fighting one another. Today, we unify. And turn our blades outward to conquer new lands. And who better to lead us to glory than me? I was blooded before the age of 10, and I led the greatest army Norway has ever seen. But they say a wise king seeks honest counsel, so I ask, who among you rejects this new arrangement?
I am not your enemy, King Harald, but I will not be your subject. Tomorrow we sail for greener shores, and so my kingdom is yours.
This saddens me, noble Hjorl. And does your wife agree? Is she not tired of limping ever westward?
My husband and I are as one in this, Lord. We do not limp together. We fly.
I'm sad to lose a woman of your spirit, Ljuvina. But I hold no grudge. May the fates grant you good luck.
My king, I offer you my axe and my oath, ironclad.
Gorm Kjötveson, you dare show your face in this hall. Did not King Styrbjörn and his son Sigurd rid our lands of your foulness?
The Raven clan dishonored me, great king. They poisoned my father, Kjotve. They made a mockery of his honorable death.
Back
What?
it out! You lie!
Hold, Eivor. Let it play out.
This is a serious charge, Gorm, and a false one at that. My uncle saw your father die. Eivor Wolf-Kissed, you are Kjotve's slayer. This man has slandered your clan. What shall I do with him?
Ooh, we get a decision. So what do? We could kill him, we could banish him. Or we let him decide. Now here's this is hard, you know, because difficult, not what you're thinking. We could like, I think technically, you know, Eivor was just about to kill him. So we should by all rights say kill him. Banish him. I don't know, that doesn't seem like, you know, that doesn't at all seem like Eivor to just say, hey, just banish him and, you know, he'll come back. That kind of sounds like, you know, it wouldn't be the best idea. And you decide. I don't think we can choose anything but kill him, because she was ready to kill him. And I don't think she's developed anywhere, you know, yet to think any other solution might be right in this case. Although, you know, I would find it interesting. You know, so I think, like, we could get away with saying you decide, because, you know, she's shocked. Kind of. She wants to know what, you know, like, that he would give her the choice, and that, you know, he might be a pretty good king in that regard. But I think we have to go for kill him right now. I don't think Eivor is in any other place in her life right now to demand anything else.
I would send him to hell, as I did his father.
Understandable. But a quick death is too good for a Draugr like him. Gorm, I name you Worm and call you exiled. Leave these lands by the next full moon, or I will feed you to the crows myself.
Okay, we don't get a choice. That's interesting.
King Harold, may I speak?
The floor is yours, King Styrbjörn.
My people have held our land since the days when Odin himself walked among us. My kingdom is humble, but we have paid for it in blood. Our victory over Kjotve is proof that we will not lay down without a fight. All here have buried friends, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters. And I, for one, have had my fill of death. Let those who seek war look beyond our shores. If King Harold brings peace, then I am happy to bend my knee to him.
What? What in hell's name are you doing, father?
Securing a lasting peace, Sigurd. Our days of fighting are finished.
You said nothing of this to me. Not a word. And I will not yield a title that should be mine by right.
Then war will continue. Men will die, villages will burn, you foolish boy. This is our only way towards true peace.
You will die a thrall. You drink addled cow.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Alone and toothless in a bed of straw.
Forgive my son. He is ruled by his emotions.
I take no offense, Styrbjörn Jarl, and I thank you for your fealty. It is natural to fear change, to resist it. But all things change and all things end. The lessons of Ragnarok are clear. We will speak again soon.
That was an ambush, Lord. Did you know of Styrbjörn's plans?
For some days, yes, I did. But it was not at my urging. It was his decision alone. Do you dream of a glorious future, Eivor? A warrior like you would be a boon to my clan.
Okay, this will be interesting. Huh. Like, this was all straightforward so far. Now it's like, boom, decision, boom, decision, boom, decision. I like this. Let's see, what could we do? Oh, and what I liked here is the mention of when Odin still walked among us. Because I don't think that necessarily is quite... I don't know, I think most belief systems have like the idea that their gods occasionally come down to them. And, you know, like from my point of view where, well, it's all just, you know, belief in some nature entity and not real, it's, you know, they never actually encountered that person, you know, they just have traditions that say there was this god and he's no longer there, you know, it's the kind of the absence of gods from modern lives, or in this case, ancient lives. But of course, in the Assassin's Creed universe, that's different, because we know that, you know, their gods are just powerful beings that are actually on Earth. So this, of course, implies that Odin is one of those powerful beings, like the Roman and Greek gods we've met before. So the question is, what does Eivor want here? Because this is where we can choose a little more. You know, so we know that it says we will betray Sigurd. So of course that is in the back of her head. Do I go with peace now? And I mean, she hasn't really known anything but war, so she will lose that. And, you know, I do not know my fate. I don't think that's Eivor. She will not, like someone told her her fate. I don't think she will say. I think I'll just keep going with like what I think is the obvious choice right now. So although, you know, like I can already tell, you know, like he's insulting his father kind of like that in anger. So I don't think that will have a good end with Sigurd. But, you know, she has her loyalty. And I don't think she's, you know, in it. You know, like, I see Valhalla kind of, you know, that's kind of, she wants glory. She wants to be a warrior. She wants to die righteously. I think I'll go with Bound to Sigurd. I mean, that, you know, that is kind of true for her as well, I think. Particularly, you know, now that basically all her enemies have been, you know, either cast out or killed outright. And I do not know my fate. Yeah, that she can't say that.
My fate is tied to my brothers. Where Sigurd goes, I follow.
I wish I understood you better. For those I do not understand, I do not trust, and I cannot stomach a lack of trust.
You have nothing to fear from me, King Harald. My loyalty lies with my brother Sigurd, and I bear you no ill will.
Then know that if you stay in Norway, both you and your brother must serve under me. Take tomorrow to think on this. But let us leave these matters for another time. Tonight, we will eat and drink like gods and wake in a kingdom made new.
Okay, but that explains a lot. Because, I mean, that's a bit of outside knowledge, but, I mean, if you've seen the trailer, you know that somehow we will go, or if you know history, you know that somehow we'll end up going to England. And the only way, and now we can see how that will happen, you know, because he says you will leave.
Harald's colors. He's already marking his territory.
Marking? Gods, he's spraying like a horny pup.
Harald may be young, but he's clever. Do not underestimate him. He came of age very quickly.
All right. So I guess we know that.
You there! What are you doing? If you wish to have words, come closer.
Huh?
Are you one of Harald's men?
I am. The king wishes to make a survey of the land he now rules. Nothing more.
Let me ask, are you one of the conquered? Did Harald take your lands as well?
No. My family has lived under his banner since the days of his father, Halfdan the Black.
Well, welcome to Fornburg, warrior.
Okay, so his loyal people are here, and this guy will kill us, I guess. We try to attack him. Ingots, enhance gear and unlock rune slots and new visuals. Bring them to the blacksmith Gunnar. Okay. So the question is, what will happen?
How are you doing, Hytham? You survived a serious blow.
I am mending. I will never be the warrior Basim wishes me to be, but I can serve my brotherhood in many other ways.
With Kjotve dead, you return to the south.
We are going west, in fact. Basim is a tireless crusader.
Get some rest before you set out, then. Injured men do not fare well on the open ocean.
Of course. Thank you.
Okay, let's have a quick peek at the map. Okay. I guess that's somewhere in this direction. What is that up there? We never did go to check that out. So I think... Oh, that might just be a training dummy. Okay, that explains it. It's not someone who just wants to jump. When we arrived, I saw that figure up there and kind of expected it to be, you know, a bit of side quest or something. It's interesting, like, how differently this game plays this early from Odyssey. In Assassin's Creed Odyssey, we've already been inundated with side quests at this point. I'm not quite sure what they're trying to do with us at this junction, you know, if this is, they're kind of offering us, you know, like this place and then taking us to England, kind of to be sort of exiled as well. Or if we can actually go back and forth.
Cast about this land, my friend.
Okay, I guess in this big longhouse somewhere is where we will find him then. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. You know, where they take us here. Oh, we have ability points. And we can upgrade some stuff, I guess. Oh, quiver upgrade. Increase maximum arrow capacity. That always sounds good. What do we have here? Moonlight, Superior Dane Axe. That's a two-handed axe. Iron Star, a flail. Baron's Axe. That is what? Attack 54, stun 55, speed 48. This one is attack 47, so a lot worse. And this one is attack 70. I'm tempted to get a flail as the second weapon. Or maybe even the primary? Instead of... Let's go with the flail as the primary and see how that works. Oh, we finally got a helmet. It's hidden by default, that's fine with me. Ration upgrade. Oh. I guess we should do that as quickly as we can. Let's see, we need 100 iron ore and 50. So that's a good bunch of things to get. Okay, now let's do the skill update before I get too distracted by all of this. Alright, we're here. We can improve our light attack damage, or we can get advanced assassination, or possibly we can get both. Well, let's get advanced assassination first. That seems to be timing-wise a good idea. And we'll go for more light damage. Oh. First need melee ability damage. Well, we have 3 points, so it shouldn't really matter. Takes more than 1 point. Oh, that's connected this way. Okay, so we have to get ability damage, and now we can get light attack damage. Okay, so but we've unlocked this entire thing now. What's this? The bonus to all Raven aligned gear. We can't acquire that yet. That's interesting. Oh, that is connected from here, but we don't have any skill points anymore. That's why we can't acquire that yet. Okay. But that looks good. And now we have to figure out where we should go next. Hammer. Stealth. More Raven aligned gear. Then we have to go to hammers. Headshot. Breakfall. Eivor automatically performs a roll when landing from a dangerous height, reducing the amount of damage taken. Okay, that's nice. Predator bow. What's this? Chain assassination. That would be really nice to have. Adrenaline slot. So adrenaline is kind of what you power your abilities with. Predator bow I never really got the hang of, so I'm not sure I will try that as much. So I think we'll try to sort of stick in the left half then to all those Raven-ish abilities. Although they're pretty mixed, which I find interesting. That in Odyssey you had these basically these separate columns, you know, you had like Hunter, Assassin, and Warrior. And so you were kind of like jumping between classes, getting the abilities you think you need right now. Whereas here it's much less straightforward, and as you see, like they mix like melee and hammers in with stealth. But I guess that's like for playing as a new player, I think that's not bad, because if the game, you know, expects you, for example, to do these raids. I remember when I once like basically exclusively spec'd into hunter damage, so arrows. Those conquest battles became really difficult because they're mostly melee. You know, you're just in a group of people. And there was no way to just say, hey, I'll sit up here on that ridge and shoot at them from there. Alright, let's see. We just have the main quest. Let's walk around here. Let's see if we can find Sigurd anywhere.
Can I interest you in a game of Orlog?
Oh, we haven't tried that, so I guess we should. Just for completeness. Orlog is a game where two players duel. Went the way too fast.
Orlok.
Yes, Orlok. Join me?
Let's begin.
I am pretty good. Do not say I did not warn you.
Orlok is a game where two players duel by rolling dice and invoking god favors. The first player to reduce the health of the opponent to 0 wins. Each round has 3 phases. 1. The roll phase. Players roll their dice. The phases have various effects like attack, defense, or gain tokens used to invoke god favors. The god favor phase. Players may make offering to invoke god favor. God favors grant powerful blessings that can greatly affect the outcome of a round or even a game. 3. The resolution phase. The faces of the dice rolled by both players are resolved against each other. Damage is dealt or blocked. Tokens are gained or stolen. Rounds are played until one player reduces the health of the other by 0. So I'm not saying I will be any good at this, but hey, let's try this. Coin flip will determine who plays first. Play first. Okay, roll phase. At the beginning of each round, you and your opponent take turns rolling dice. You can roll up to 3 times. Between each roll, you can choose which dice you want to keep and which you want to re-roll. Roll dice. And phases. Deal 1 damage, block 1. Arrows, deal arrow damage or block 1 arrow? Okay. Steal 1 token from the opponent, gain tokens. Okay, so these 2 block arrows. This one steals a token. The question is, does the enemy even have a token already? Are these stones? Select dice to keep, then confirm. Deal 1 axe damage or 1 arrow damage. Okay, so I guess we'll keep the damage dealing ones. And what was this? Gain a token. We want that. Well, we'd have to assume. Let's re-roll that one. Let's keep one of these just to be slightly defensive. So hopefully we'll get something to defend against an axe as well. Confirm. Ooh. He's keeping the 1 defense. So let's roll those 2. Arrow damage and gain another. Oh no, that's block axe. So we block an axe and an arrow, and we gain a favor. I think that's okay. So let's confirm that and see what happens. Oh, he steals a token from us. That's not nice. In this phase, the dice effects are resolved in order. Each empty gains 1 token. Oh, right, that was not gain, that was... Wait, why did I guess I misread something? Okay, never mind. So we don't have any tokens, so he can't be stealing any, I guess. Unless we have those, and those count. We'll see. Axes and arrows are resolved and their unblocked damage applied. The player who rolled first this round also attacks first, and each steals 1 token from the opponent. Let's see what happens. Oh, those are tokens. Okay.
Interesting.
Yes, roll dice. Okay. Heck Jay, thank you for following. Hello if you're here. How are you doing? How's it going? Okay, let's see. Let's take the attack ones and try to steal back a token if we can. Okay, and blocking gains us a token, so that does both. So let's keep one of those. And these just block. Okay. He blocks one axe, so our one attack doesn't help. And we're kind of taking damage here, I think. Arrow and gain a token, so the dotted line means gain. Okay, there's no empty dice faces. Alright, so we definitely... let's just go all in. Steal the tokens. We're still taking damage, but God favor phase. So what happened now? Did we take damage? I don't know. In this phase you may choose a God favor to invoke. God favors are invoked in order of priority. When God favor is invoked, offering is given as reward granted. Most God favors are invoked after both players choose, before the resolution phase, but some that specifically stated in their effect description are invoked after the resolution phase. Tip: if a player doesn't have enough tokens for the offering, when the God favor they choose is invoked, the effect is not granted. You can use this to your advantage against your opponent. I guess we skip because we don't have any. No, we should have afterwards, right? So there will be counting first. But I think those cancel each other out. And then these are attacks. And these are steals and gains. Okay, select a God favor to use. What can we do? Well, let's see. We can get 2 tokens that we steal, and we get 1, 2 more. So we can just about do 4. So we can deal 2 damage, I guess. But he still has 4, so he can also deal 2 damage. Well, let's try it anyway. At least we might not fail as spectacularly then. Oh, whoa, whoa. He has lots of favors. Okay. That didn't go too badly, although it didn't go super well as well. There's 1 point difference between us, I guess. So I guess the health are the stones. Okay. Hi Oli, doing well, thank you. Haven't figured this game out myself yet. Yeah. It seems interesting. I just like, it's my first time playing this. I probably won't play it much. I don't know, like, unless, you know, I feel like I need to get, you know, charisma points or whatever. Okay, again, let's go aggressive. These will cause damage. And I mean, a block of each one do 1 block of each, and then let's hope that we can re-roll this one. Confirm.
This will do.
Oh wow, he has 3. And that is an arrow block, so our arrow damage goes away. So he has... So the 2 at the ends would cancel each other out, right? And so he takes... No, wait. Yeah, the 2 at the ends are both just damage, because the shields don't work against the axes, right? So then each causes 2 damage to the other, at least. And 1... We send 1 arrow through, and we deflect 1 axe with our helmet. Okay, roll that last dice. Okay, I guess it gets us 2 more odd favors. I guess we can't do anything but confirm or forfeit. So, okay, let's confirm. Oh, I can reroll. Okay, I didn't quite... Well, then I guess we can roll that dice again. That causes damage. Now what happened? So here is 3 damage that goes through, I guess. That's 1 arrow that doesn't go through. And these 2 are wasted by each of us, because... Okay. This one is blocked, so he causes 3 damage, and I cause 3 damage, and the rest is nullified. Okay, but... we should be able to get favors, so I guess... Let's see, how many can we get? 1, 2... We only have 3 favors. So we can't really get anything. So we're skipping the God Favor phase, I guess. Oh. Now he's causing 1 more damage than we did. So I think we should be even now. Yeah. That slightly hurt. So heck, Jay, is there anything you found out so far with this game? Okay, roll the dice. Select dice to keep, then confirm. Okay, we can put an arrow out. Now we have 4 favors, actually. Oh, I miscounted. I'm an idiot. I had 1 lying there already. So of course I had 4. Ah, that was a mistake. Alright, he already has 3. So we'll block 2 of his. And maybe steal 1 and gain 1. Okay, let's confirm those. Another axe. Okay, we can deflect 3 of his axes. Confirm. And now he has an arrow and another axe. Ah! You're killing me. Cool, I guess. I guess we have an axe, but we're not deflecting as much. Okay, so now... Let's see, we have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it actually shows us. I guess let's go all in. Because he has no steals, yeah. Let's do that, because we have, right now, we're blocking 3 of his, and we're taking 3 damage, and we're dishing out 2, so if we deal 5... Oh, he took our shields, or what?
This game is as good as over.
Oh, whoa, whoa. But at least we have more tokens. No, we don't. Oh!
Good game.
The gods favored your hand today. Shall we go again?
That was a surprise. Okay, but that was nice. Okay.
That is enough Orlog for now.
Okay, but that's interesting. We got Vidar's Might. What was that? Collectible that we found somewhere. A mild hunt. A hunter in Fornburg has asked for 3 reindeer antlers to prove your skill. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. So these don't show up as missions, these show up as quest items. Whatever this Vidar's Might thing was, I don't know. Alright, I guess we're looking for... Brother Dearest?
It's Eivor! Open the door!
Come in, but keep your voice down. We'll alert Harald's men.
Where will we live? The English will fight back! The wars will never end!
Or they will push us into the Christian way!
Okay. So we found him.
2 days ago, we rid this land of Kjotve and his dogs. Yet today, we do not celebrate. Today we cower under a cloud of fear. But it need not be like this. We are not the heel-trodden subjects of a boy king. We are the Raven clan. Our destiny is our own.
Did you know about your father's oath to Harald?
I did not. And for that my anger burns hotter than any man's here. But I will not let that drive me into despair. We cannot stay in Norway. Not under Harald's boot. Not without fueling more war. So we push forward. To newer lands. To England. And there make a new home. A kingdom of our own.
The sons of Ragnar Lothbrok have been in England 8 winters already. Is there any land left for a clan of our size?
More than enough, wife. Of the 4 kingdoms of England, only one is truly pacified.
I have no desire to wear Harald's leash. I like this idea.
A saga for the ages, I agree.
It will take time and resources to build ourselves a new home, but the riches taken from Kjotve's raid would suffice.
No. That belongs to my father, as a fair compensation. In England, we must start anew.
You would start us with nothing? In a land we do not know? Among people who hate us?
Kjotve's riches would go some way to easing our passage, Sigurd. I bested him. It is within my rights to claim his goods.
Our leaving must not be an assault on my father. It is a time of renewal for us.
Okay, so... yeah, so we can decide... yeah, we're not screwing over the father, I guess, even if it's... that will make it tougher, but yeah, it's kind of... if we leave it all on good terms with him. I think I'm... you know, that's a risk, but, you know, it's the least we can do for the father. So I think I'll go with that. Like, it... you know, I mean, we've raided before, we can raid more stuff. So yeah. What I found interesting here is that he looked back to the assassin. And the assassin kind of nodded to him, so I think Sigurd is probably, you know, already deeper into the assassin thing, and I'm not sure, you know, like if Sigurd just isn't telling anyone in detail about why he wants to go to England. So my guess is he, you know, wanted to be independent of Harold and, you know, take England anyway? I don't know. But he'd probably hope to have a home base. Well, I guess we'll leave the resources then.
If you object, I understand. Let your father keep Kjotve's riches. England will have riches and cargo enough for us.
Good. I did not want this cloud hanging over us. It is a wise leader who considers the need of others.
To England then, before the day is out. Pack what you need, but no more than that.
And tighten your lips. The last thing we need is the attention of Harald's troops. How much did you hear?
Enough. A new path is revealed, and your journey will be challenging.
Will you not join us?
For my mother's sake, I cannot. But our threads will cross again before the final day. Until then, farewell.
Okay. So, what do we expect, like, story-wise, you know, to happen now? We know that, you know, we're going to England. We know that we're probably leaving it on as good terms as we can with our father, which I think is good. Like, aside from if we had sided with him. So that will be interesting, and assuming that these prophets actually know what they're saying, Valka, I guess we'll meet again, and so the question is, will Valka come to us on some mission? So my guess is something will happen to this village eventually, and that's how we'll come back. But we'll have to see. Alright, speak to Sigurd at the docks. I guess that's the next thing we'll do. Almost this little place. Do we have enough stuff to upgrade anything, by the way? Not right now. guess then we'll just quest away. My guess is this is when we'll finally get our opening credits. What do you folks think? Oh, I thought I would do like Aloy and jump on the that post.
Those soldiers watch me. I find it flattering. You think one will marry you and carry you off to the capital? Would he? He would take his pleasure and move on, you Moon Knight magpie, leaving you with a little soldier to raise by yourself.
Someone is wise here. Where was the assassin guy? Is he still here? Oh, that's their training ground. So I think he sat outside that one, didn't he? There's nobody here. Okay, so I guess we've just gone into an in-between spot. Yeah, okay, they're all here.
Eivor, the wind favors us. We should set sail without delay.
You made quick work of packing. Well done.
The dream of new lands is a powerful lure.
As is the promise of glory. But the act of leaving so beloved a home, there is a sadness to it.
Having doubts?
No, not at all. The die is cast.
Then let fate guide our journey. Are you ready?
I wonder, you know, what effect our decisions would have here. Like, if we had sided with the father, would that have been, you know, like, would Sigurd have, you know, attacked him somehow and driven us out, and then we would have to go to England without Sigurd? Or how would it have ended up? Or would the father have said, you know, you see, Sigurd is leaving, you're the only one I can trust, go along and keep him safe or something, you know? That could be as well. That would be interesting to know, like, if there would be differences, like, in whether they would be as large as, you know, Sigurd not coming with you, or as small as, you know, just being sent there anyway. I mean, and especially with the new Assassin's Creed games, like in Odyssey, there were a few spots that looked like they were a decision, and then when you looked at it, it was actually, if you said A, your counterpart would say B, and if you said B, your counterpart would say A, and so you always ended up on the middle ground. And it was basically just, you know, storytelling showing you both sides of the coin. And that it wasn't, you know, a clear-cut decision. It's time to go, I guess.
I am ready. Let us take to the water and leave unbothered while we have the chance.
That chance is past. Look.
Fate flies on swifter wings than we.
King Harald's banner.
Sigurd, what is this assembly? What are you planning?
An exit, father. As graceful as I can. For if I cannot be king in the land of my birth, I will start a new saga. In England.
Nonsense. Your place is here, son, at my side. There will be other victories soon. Other glories.
My choice is made, father. Do not hope otherwise.
It is easy to lose one's way on the road to glory. Do not let false victories blind you to what is true.
You talk of false victories to me, old man? A sad old bear who destroyed his honor with one bent knee. The further I sail from this place, the louder I will sing.
I will be his anchor, Lord.
No. You must be his better half. May Agir bless your voyage.
Alright. So I assume the supplies we just got as numeric values are what like crafting materials or something, and now my guess is you get more if you say you leave him behind. You take Kjotve's riches. Okay, cutscene time.
You weeping sacks of wool! Put some muscle into those bulls!
Ration your strength, dog. We have an ocean to cross.
All right, you lazy backrout. Sigurd, what's our course?
The Sons of Ragnar established a settlement near the coast. We set sail for that. Ragi, sing a song to lift our hoof.
To rouse the gods! Inspire a mighty fart from Thor to speed
An ocean lies before us, Eivor, and on its far side, a new kingdom awaits.
You know England well from your travels.
I spent a season in their kingdom of Mercia, a temperate land, lush and wild. By now, the Sons of Ragnar will have claimed its heart.
Do we mean to join their army?
They will join ours. In time, all of England will know of Ravenclan and the glory we brought to that fractured land. So to England! Glory and destiny!
To England!
To England! For Valhalla!
That was short opening credits. Oh, and now I guess we're Layla? Rations and arrows. In your inventory menu, upgrade your rations capacity to increase the number of healing items you can carry. Upgrade your quiver to increase the number of arrows you can carry. We just did that. Alright. So I guess we'll be familiar in the Animus now and we'll get some backstory. Yes. Layla. Seems to be a slightly updated character model. Quite a different face. Oh, she doesn't really look healthy either. Yeah, she doesn't look good. Oh, she still has the Spear of Destiny from the previous game.
In a lecture at the University of Cambridge, Dr. Circa told a worried audience that scientists have few answers for them.
Since the mass coronal ejection of 2012, the strength of the Earth's magnetic field has increased by a factor of 50,000. This has resulted in huge disturbances in radio and satellite communications, dangerous bands of radiation around the poles, and as we can all see from our window, an aurora borealis that never burns away. Unfortunately, we are stumped as to why this is happening, and if we cannot find an answer soon, it may change the way we live, the way we communicate, even the way we evolve, forever.
Dr. Circa went on to say,
Bought you more electrolytes? Oh, new and improved citrus flavor.
Thanks, Sean.
Okay, so they're
How do we
going.
fix this? How are you the key to everything?
Alright, backstory time. So what we know from previous Assassin's Creed games is that basically the gods kind of knew that the world would end, or at least some of them. And that's why this whole animus thing is being done. So why we're digging into the memories of these specific people, like the ancestral memories, not necessarily just theirs, to find out what was going to happen and to find hints to a plan that those gods kind of told them that would help us save the world, basically. And so I guess this cataclysm is already arriving now. And so Layla Hassan is basically the person who has been going after these people for the last couple of games. Like, I know she's at least been in Origins, Odyssey, and now in Valhalla. Although she looks quite different.
You're a long way from home, Eivor.
So she always goes and digs out these bodies and then kind of, I think she basically extracts DNA from them and uses that with the animus, with that device, that badge she was on. Can we... Oh, we can't do anything. And so one thing that has been... Oh well, no, I don't want to tell that yet. It might become relevant or surprising later, and then it will be more interesting to actually experience it, I guess. And I mean, you know, like, I don't really want to give too much backstory either, because they'll hopefully show it off anyway.
It's beautiful. But it's not normal.
That's one way to kind of give us a weird sunny afternoon that looks cool. So I guess we're in a fjord in Norway, or what? Do we have a map? Nope. We have nothing. It's always the thing that happens with when you play the present day things in these games. Is that you have no abilities, you're just a normal schlub. Oh, she can't even climb anymore? That's a bit weird. I guess that's their way, you know, like to make it... The problem is with Eivor or someone, you have to build a huge map so that, you know, you can't just climb over this little hill and, you know, run off into Norway or something, and then they'd have to model all of Norway. And so for these small maps, usually they put you in a quite enclosed location, because you're only supposed to drive on the story a little bit and then go back into the past. So just, you know, game design wise again, because you know how I like to pontificate about that, even though I have no clue. Game design wise, it totally makes sense that they would, you know, not give you any abilities here. Let's see, there will probably be an invisible wall somewhere here.
Layla, can't run away from this.
Yeah, okay. I love this invisible wall. They had that in the previous game already. So you can still walk around, but the camera just won't follow you. So that means you have no idea what you will be doing there. There is probably, you know, not much map left over there. And that's kind of a cool way to give you an open-ended map. Oh, that's pretty. Northern Lights. Oh, do we have mail?
Someone's got mail. An invitation to a fair in Concord. Bring your best crop and you may win a prize. Tempting.
Whoa.
Another satellite. Damn.
Ooh. She took that in stride. I mean, you know, like, maybe it happens occasionally, but like, oh, that one was closer or something. Garden gnome?
Probably bought this in a coffee shop somewhere in Concord.
Wait, was the mail in Concord as well? Can I see that again? No. So is she in the US and not in Norway? Like, why would she find... You know, like, it would make sense to find Eivor in Norway somewhere? Or, you know, like, Europe in general. Like, continental Europe. Or it would make sense to find Eivor in England. But, like, if this is... It says Maine. Wait, so we're in the US and Eivor... Huh. So I guess that means we'll make it to the US. In, you know, like in the past. That'll be interesting then. Huh. So I guess this is what they call coastal Maine. Fascinating. I mean, I guess it, you know, it was a little wide maybe for Norway, although why not? Does Norway even, well, Norway is in the north, so they probably don't have many mountains there, do they? I have no idea whether Norway actually has mountains. Like, I mean, you know, it's far away enough from the Alps, but
Would love to play around, but I have bigger things on my mind.
can't run anymore. That's interesting. Let's see if there's anything else around the house. There's a notepad with a sad face on it. But I can't really tell what it says. That door is locked. Ye olde outhouses. She really doesn't have indoor plumbing?
Oof. I'd rather walk into town than use this.
Okay, let's see if there's anything else that we've missed. Seems to be a little brook or something. No. I guess not. I guess that's supposed to be wind, that sound. Sounds much more like water, though. Go in.
Mint tea is not actually tea, Bex. It's an infusion.
I don't care what you call it, Sean. Did you buy any?
Of course I did, love.
Hey, sorry about pulling you out. The generator was sputtering.
That's fine. I needed air.
How is the Animus data stream? Comfortable?
Felt pretty stable after a while.
Good. Just give me a sec and you can jump back in.
Still doing the same thing, just with new people.
Another satellite came down. Did you see?
I did. One of Abstergo's.
That's good.
Well, most of North America just lost its GPS service, so depends what you mean by good, really.
Right. Even when we win, we lose.
Okay, we're all set. Whenever you're ready, you can jump back in.
You're back. Ooh, you missed something exciting. Oh yeah, you missed a lot exciting. So I guess I can give you the short rundown, if you want. One thing that happened is that... I guess I'm not telling you why unless you explicitly want to know. Because you could also just rewatch it, you know, but... So we decided to go to England with Sigurd and a lot of the villagers. And, yeah, that's... I don't know if I want to say more. And then we woke up as Layla in the Animus, in that machine that tells you that lets you explore memories. And apparently Eivor's grave is over there, somewhere in Maine. Not in England, in Maine. And Layla didn't look too healthy, by the way. Yeah. So what does this radio say?
You mind if I put some music on?
Go for it.
Cool.
Don't know what music that is.
That's quite nice. Soothing.
Where's their echo? Use a laptop, that usually does a little more, so we'll do that later. And that is the... What was it called? The Staff of Hermes Trismegistos, I think, which we got in the previous game. So that's from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. USA, Maine. Yes, that Maine. That's where Layla is right now, and that's where she found Eivor, which is a little surprising, you know, because I would have expected Eivor to be in Norway.
I went through hell to bring you here. It had better be worth it.
Okay, maybe let's turn off that music. I don't know if that will get anything muted. anywhere. It sounds too much like existing popular music.
Be nice to sleep in a real bed when this is over.
Nice blockhouse she has here, but yeah, the amenities are kind of limited.
Please enjoy your stay. Remember, all the garbage must be packed out, and please water the plants once a day.
Yeah, I won't remember that.
Oh, so I guess this is an Airbnb or something?
You gonna put this in the fridge, Sean?
Of course. In half a minute.
Remember, tomatoes go on the counter, not the fridge.
Oh.
Sean, don't forget to water the plants while I'm under, okay?
I'll add it to the calendar and tattoo it on my leg.
She's a bit of a micromanager, isn't she? Oh.
Sean has been busy.
Strange message. An audio fragment sent from an unknown location to our encrypted servers. Nothing was stolen, nothing corrupted, just a quick deposit and gone. We got lucky this time. So what is it? A cryptic sound file, voice unknown, with a signal beneath it. The signal was a code, led us to a precise spot here in New England. We dug, and good lord, we struck gold. Well, silver. Dominant currency in the Dark Ages. Point is, it was a gravesite, a Norse warrior dating to the late 9th century, early 10th century AD, a few centuries before the earliest known settlements. This is big news if we have it right. Questions remain, how did these bones get here, and why? Okay, so it's a mystery to them as well. I guess we'll find out. Okay, let's check our laptop.
Let's have a look.
That's always something in these scenes, it seems. Mailbox. From Rami Hassan to Laila Hassan. Thanks for clearing that up in such profound detail. I'm sure I'll sleep soundly now. I don't have COVID, no, and I'm well isolated. It's just 3 of us traveling together, staying out of sight. Okay, that's a nice tie-in, I guess. Disappearing for a while. I don't like the sound of any of this, Layla, and I don't like where this is leading. Not using phones is not the right way to ease my mind. You have my number. I suggest you call it. And no, I won't say hello to our parents for you. So that's, I guess, brother? Sister? Because doing so would bury me in questions I cannot answer. And to tell father that you no longer work for Abstergo would break his heart. That's all he ever talks about, how his daughter is on the cutting edge of neuroscience. The man doesn't understand the first thing about what you do or did, and he's still proud. I will not be the one to disappoint him. Is it COVID? Is that why you're being cagey? Something else? Call him. Call me and stop this insane game of hide and seek. I just want to know that you're safe. Rami, forgive the short email. I wanted to call, but I'm not using phones right now and my time is limited. I'm still recovering from my trip. Things got out of hand and nothing went as expected. People got hurt. I told you it was for research, and it was, but not for Abstergo. The truth is, I haven't worked for them for a few years. It's a long story, and I won't bother you with the details, but it wasn't for me. Leave it at that. The group I'm with now, I can't explain, not over email, but they've shown me things, given me opportunities, and opened my eyes to a broader view, but not without cost. In fact, I fucked up last year bad, more than once, and I need to make it right. I know all this sounds cryptic, it is, but I'm not in danger, not in the way you might think. If I'm being vague, it's because I need to be. I don't want any data sniffers picking up on keywords that might raise alarms. Do I sound paranoid? A little? Here's the point. Don't worry about me. I'm with a couple of people who I trust now. They've been at this a lot longer than I have, and they're going to see me through this, I promise. At this time next year, Things will be better. The skies will be clear, the earthquakes will stop, and we'll celebrate Ramadan together. It'll be just like the 90s all over again. Tell Mama and Baba I miss them, and that I'm doing fine. Your sis, L. Okay. Next steps. Oh, one last message, after which all communication between us via this account or any other will cease. We have our own ways of talking, methods that cannot be sniffed or traced. Your previous team made this mistake. They knew the risks, but they were sloppy, left traces of their activity on everything, digital fingerprints everywhere. That will not happen with us. My colleagues tell me the initial meeting went well. They are impressed, if a little wary of the influence your new toy has on you. But they know better than most what it means to live with such a burden. I'm curious to know more about this air of memories epithet. It's not a phrase we have heard in all our decades of research. Yeah, so that was what happened in the previous game, kind of. Layla was given that staff and was told, and that staff is like an alien artifact. And was called the Air of Memories. In a few weeks' time, we will contact you once more. If you are interested in proceeding, follow our instructions to the letter. If you are not interested, or if you break any of our protocols, this will be the last time you hear from us. Take this to heart. The world is sick and getting sicker. The Earth's magnetic field is growing stronger. Satellites are falling from the sky. Earthquakes are getting more frequent. Famines are becoming more and more frequent. And now we have credible reports of a new and deadly virus sweeping through Asia. It can feel like we're living through a Yeatsian nightmare. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. In many ways we are. But there is hope. There is a cure. Us. In the past few months, we have come across something that may help us solve our most pressing problems. A message, a very promising message that may help us reverse the dire course we are on. If you want to be part of the solution, join us. If not, we wish you the best of luck. So we've had messages like basically sent, like placed in the past by the gods, so to say. So yeah, I guess I called them aliens, so that's what they are. So maybe this is something like that? I don't know. You have a gift and a curse. The gift of old blood, the curse of not understanding it. We can help if you help us. What you did is not your fault, but you must take responsibility for it, otherwise nothing gets done. One of us will contact you. If you miss us, you miss your chance. Who the fuck is this? Would your favorite baseball team happen to be the Atlantis Eagles? That's a nice way of phrasing that. You know, in the previous game, we found stuff related to Atlantis. Basically, that staff is related to that as well. And we had an eagle as the bird that helps us, like we have a raven as Eivor now. So the Atlantis Eagles is kind of nice. And yeah, in the previous game, we also know what she did that she thinks is her fault. I'm not sure I want to talk too much about this because I think it's not really relevant. But let's say it caused the deaths of some of her teammates. English locales of note. Layla, as you traipse about England, Bex and I thought you might want to keep your eyes open for a few things. Assassin bureaus, or the hidden ones more accurately. They operated in Roman Britain between the years 100 and 430 BCE. It's not clear why they left, but the final date corresponds roughly to the Roman exodus from Britain. So I imagine their leaving had something to do with the Empire's retreat. Mission accomplished or loss of faith? Not sure, but we do know that it was several hundred years before the Hidden Ones returned to the island. It may be Basim and Hytham are the first in half a century. Okay, we met Basim and Hytham. Those were the two assassins that talked to us. So I guess what they're saying is we're now starting the return of the Hidden Ones. I don't quite remember. I don't know whether there's a difference between the Hidden Ones and the Assassins in general. Like, are they like a splinter group or something that has specific goals that the others don't share? From our own archives, I believe there were 6 main bureaus operating in the Roman period. Leicestershire, London, Winchester, York, Essex, and Gloucestershire. These won't be the Saxon names, so you'll have to read between the lines. Animus anomalies. To get Animus is that bed we use to go back in time, basically. Bex noticed these, about 10, embedded in the simulation. They're dense clusters of data that may screw with your ability to navigate Eivor's memories. Approach with caution. We don't know what they'll do if you get too close. They may be harmless, they may induce occipital shock, or wipe your mind. Hard to say. Best to err on the side of hell no, but if you're curious, well, I warned you. Okay, that's... So, that sounds like they're using... So I always thought the Animus was that machine, that bed that we use. So are these anomalies things in Eivor's memories that just affect the Animus? Or are they actually using, you know, an Animus device that has somehow been, you know, manipulated or something? And Bex is the woman that is in the cabin with us right now, the operator for the Animus that we heard earlier. Pieces of Eden. We don't know of any Isu artifacts you should be looking for specifically, but they're out there, and this was a period where they often cropped up in legend. Norse and Saxon songs and tales speak of them often, so keep your eyes peeled. Especially around Stonehenge. How could that not be an Isu site? Animus Session Report. Operator Rebecca Crane. Subject Sean Hastings. Reporter William Miles. Preface. The transformation of the Order of the Ancients into the Templars we know them at today has always been a subject of considerable debate among our ranks. So, Assassins are the ones we're playing as, and Templars are basically our enemies that keep coming after us and attacking us as well. Kind of, you know, Assassin is more chaos, and Templars are more order, kind of like that. And I think not something that we necessarily need to tell right now, because it was in the previous game. I'm kind of trying to stay low on spoilers for the previous game if I can, but of course I want to give some background on stuff. But anyway, I think the Order of the Ancients is probably what Cassandra kind of ended up founding in the previous game. I don't remember if that was called the Order of the Ancients, or if that was something... Oh no, wait, Order of the Ancients was, of course, the enemy, wasn't it? Was that the cult of Cosmos, basically? I honestly don't remember. I'd have to look that up, I guess. Okay, we have operated with the assumption that the Templars themselves hold some or complete knowledge of this evolution, but at present no concrete historical evidence has ever made it into our hands. What little data we do have, if you want spoilers for the previous game, watch the VODs in this channel. On this channel. Well, actually, yeah, I mean, I played that game previously, so you could probably go to my YouTube and watch at least a good chunk of it there. Though I have to admit, I think that's the one that I didn't stream completely. Where at some point I just didn't have time to stream and just continued playing it. We have operated with the assumption that the Templars themselves hold some complete knowledge of this evolution, but at present no concrete historical evidence ever made it in their hands. We already did that. What little data we have is mostly a matter of public record with some exceptions. It is commonly understood that the origin of the Knights Templar dates back to 1119 CE. And this indeed was the appearance of the public face of the Templars. However, our records attest to the existence of Templar agents at least 2 centuries before that date. So that's 900, so I guess we'll meet Templars now. In one badly damaged document, an assassin contract from Normandy, in the mid-11th century, the author makes free use of the term Templar. An earlier letter, this time from a hidden one in the region... Oh yeah, so I think hidden ones are a splinter. I vaguely remember something. Yeah, they must be a splinter group. In the region of modern-day Dorset, about 978 CE, makes mention of a Templar spy within the ranks of the Brotherhood. From this, we can safely assume that the Templar Order, as an entity distinct from the Order of the Ancients, existed at some point in the mid-10th century. With an aim to expand our understanding of this dark age, one of our agents recently volunteered to delve into his genetic memories to search for further clues to this age-old mystery. Unfortunately, what he discovered was of little use for our purposes. Sean Hastings began the first of his 7 sessions on October 5th, 2014. Over the course of the next 3 weeks, he followed various matrilineal and patrilineal lines into the past, focusing on the 9th, 10th, and 11th centuries in search of assassins and our Templars in his bloodline. He found none. Of minor interest, however, was the following personage, here noted for the peculiarity of his biography. Alrekr Thorvaldsson, an early 9th century Jute who sailed north from modern-day Denmark with a wooden plank bearing a carving of a map that purported to mark the location of Thor's hammer. Alrekr made it as far as Stavanger before running afoul of a powerful clan there. Alrekr was defeated in battle and enthralled as a slave. He escaped his captivity some 10 years later and returned to Jutland to marry and settle down. The location of Alrekr's map is unknown, and the existence of Thor's hammer, a precursor relic no doubt, remains unconfirmed. Okay, so that's interesting. Maybe we'll find Thor's hammer next. Alrekr's ancestors would later sail to England following the Norman conquest of the island. Settling in what is now called Loughborough in modern-day Leicestershire, the irony that a man named Hastings would contain no useful genetic memory data regarding the Norman invasion of England in 1066 was not lost on our dear subject. Still, he retained his usual chipper wit and asked if he might next relive the genetic memories of his grandfather to, quote, give a Nazi a proper bollocking.
I lived, I died, and now I sleep.
strange message broadcast from an unknown source north of the Arctic Circle. The message was broadcast for 9 days, then seized. Spectrum analysis of the message revealed coordinates to a Norse gravesite in New England, USA. Okay. So that is, I guess... They should have looked for Grabthar's hammer instead. Yeah, that would be... By Grabthar's hammer, you shall be avenged! That would be a good one, yeah. Not sure what that hammer was, actually. We never saw that, did we? I'm trying to recognize the voice. It kind of... It could be... You know, maybe it's just the accent. Like, it's none of the Norse accents and it sounds more Arabic. So it could be one of our two assassins that we've seen here so far. Or kind of... Bayek had a similar accent and voice. So Bayek from the protagonist of Assassin's Creed Origins, not Odyssey, which was set in Egypt. So I'm kind of wondering if that's somehow a recording of something he said.
No, come on, Sean. Turn that thing off.
Oh, hold on. I like what you said there. I want to get this for posterity. Say it again, nice and loud.
Seriously?
Sure, come on. If nothing else, it'll give me leverage with your old man.
Ah, that's your angle. Nice. What I said was, I wish I hadn't been born into the Assassins. I wish I had chosen this life. Is that good enough?
Sure, but why is that?
Because choice is the central idea of our creed. It underpins everything, right? It's about free will. It's about seeing the evidence before you and saying, yes, this is what I want. Or, no, this isn't for me. But when you're born into a group like this, or any other, like I was, you get mixed signals. You get told over and over again, this is what we believe. These are the rules. This is reality. No deviation. And if you question it, oh, they look at you like you killed a puppy. That's hardly free will. It's a weird irony when free will is your central belief, but nobody wants you to believe otherwise. I don't know how to say it exactly, but I always thought there was something self-destructive about our creed. If free will is the most important moral guidepost we have, we should be free to ignore it. To choose submission, for example. You know what I mean? Like, we should be free to side with the Templars. If it's really my choice, I could do that.
Right. It's almost self-refuting. A democracy could democratically elect a dictator or choose to get rid of democracy altogether. Within our creed is the seed of its own destruction. That's what makes it powerful, I think. And fragile.
Right. The more freedom you have, the more risky it is, you know? Anyway, my dad has mellowed over the years, but he was strict when we lived on the farm. He ran a tight ship. I never got the impression that I was free to choose my path forward. Our creed, our tenets, they were drilled into my head. By the time I was a teenager, I was following these rules out of a sense of duty. This was just what we did.
That happens to a lot of organizations over time. A stagnation sets in, you know? A fundamentalism.
Yeah. Following the rules becomes more important than achieving whatever goal you set out for yourself. And people start to lose sight of the reason the rules exist.
That's called deontology, or a form of it. Following a rule for its own sake, and not for the consequences it has.
Yeah, but that feels backwards, doesn't it?
Well, I think so. Following a rule is the easy part. Praying, taking a sip of wine, munching on a wafer. Rituals that give comfort.
But that's just going through the motions. It makes people feel like they're doing something. When the hard work is, well, actually getting off your ass and doing something productive. I think people just want boundaries. Tight boundaries. They want to see the four walls that pen them in.
I don't disagree.
Anything outside that, anything that makes life more complex, that's scary. That's why I envy you. You chose this life. You went through that process, and you decided, yes, I believe in this.
Sure. It didn't stop me from being an insufferable know-it-all as a teenager, but I see your point.
I would have loved to have been a know-it-all. I knew nothing. Not until you guys found me. Yeah. It wasn't until I met you, and Bex and Lucy, that I knew. I knew I wanted to be an assassin.
Oh, thanks, Des. Come here. Bring it in, bud. I don't normally like touching, but I'll make an exception now.
I am not hugging you.
You sure? Because I smell very nice today.
Can you just turn that off?
So, if I remember correctly, Desmond was the kind of like present-day protagonist, like Layla, in, if not the first game, then at least, you know, the early Assassin's Creed games. So that's interesting. That he should show up again. I haven't seen him in a while.
Layla, thought you might be interested in this. Conversations that Bex and I had with Desmond back in 2012. December, I think. Just candid talks, that's all. We didn't square any circles or write any beat poetry. But he did have some interesting insights into his time in the Animus and what it means to be an assassin. Anyway, have a listen. You might find you and he had similar experiences, so, well, let me know what you think. Unless it's to tell me I sound like a total prat in these recordings. If that's the case, just say nothing. I mean, I did have a slight cold at the time I recorded these. That's probably why I sound odd. Anyway, okay, I'm done anyway, so turn off. Turn off. Oh, it's actually just a button. Sorry, here we go.
You're not used to have games contain references to current affairs. You're playing too many old ones. Yeah, in general, I'm not sure if I've played, like, I don't think the previous Assassin's Creed games had any obvious references to present-day events. I'm trying to remember if there was like anything. I mean, there were, you know, it was set in present day. So, you know, they were talking about things, you know, that might happen. You know, as in that you know, are wont to happen, you know, like things that you know, seem truthy. But I don't think they were talking about actual historical events, basically before World War II or something like that. At least none that I recognize. It might have been, you know, that maybe they talked about something that someone would recognize at US politics or something, you know, where it was like, I don't know if they talked about, you know, like, oh, I think the assassins have that senator in the bag or something like that. I don't remember if there was anything like that, but I, like, from my vague image of how these previous games played, something like that might have been in there. But I think this is the first time that, you know, stuff like COVID gets mentioned for me in a game as well. Although, you know, for these present-day segments, it actually fits pretty well.
Hold on, I'll just set this here.
Do you guys record everything we talk about?
Not everything, but you've been using the Animus so much, I thought this was a good chance to learn some things about prolonged exposure.
So I'm your guinea pig?
No, my guinea pigs are all dead. The Animus was too much for them to handle. Can I ask you about the bleeding effect? Any recent flashes? Any memories resurfacing?
Yeah, the usual things. Ghost images of Altair and Ezio a few times a day. Nothing intrusive, just brief moments. They pass quickly, almost without me noticing. Like a figure in the corner of my eye. Or remembering a dream from the night before. I did have one extended hallucination a few days ago. It was Ezio. He was older, around the time he left Cappadocia. He was standing on the deck of a ship, alone. And through him, I could feel an intense regret or guilt. And it felt to me like he'd had a loss of faith in himself, in the creed, like he couldn't keep it up, couldn't stay true to his ideals. And as I watched him, I thought, is this the moment he decided he was done being an assassin? It felt like it. Anyway, most of my visions have been brief, lasting just a few seconds. They're like complete memories of small moments that appear suddenly out of nowhere, fully formed. It's a strange feeling.
Okay, anything else?
I'm starting to see Connor now, too. Though I hear his voice more often than I see him, I'm sure that will change. Oh, yeah, and yesterday, just before bed, I had a memory of being on a beach in the Caribbean with a bunch of sailors. Or maybe they were pirates. I don't know. No idea.
Huh. We'll look into that. And how do you feel in general?
In general? Well, I feel older, for one. Much older. And it's strangely comforting. I'm collecting the memories and skills and thoughts of so many people. I feel like I've lived a few hundred years or more. Is it possible that if I do this for too long, it'll push my own memories aside? That I'll be everyone but myself after a while?
It's possible. That's called identity substitution. It's happened before, but it's rare. And someone with your background shouldn't need to worry.
My background? You mean someone with my genes? My abilities?
You have Isu DNA, and that lets you see things and do things and withstand traumas that other people can't.
And I can suffer in ways that others can't. That's not something to be proud of.
You mean the apple?
Yeah. It has a pull, Bex. It tugs at my brain. It talks to me. Teases me. Drives me mad. And what I did to Lucy... God damn it. Nothing is worth the damage I did. The pain I caused.
I know. But you're special. That's the point.
I'm not special, Bex. I'm lucky. That's all.
I understand.
We're assassins. It's our creed that makes us different, not our genes, not our blood. Anyone can join us.
That's true. But let's leave that aside for a second. What I want to know is, have you ever had any Isu memories resurface?
Isu memories? I don't think so. I can't even begin to imagine what that would feel like.
I think you'd know if you did. Maybe one day. We might be able to induce something.
Jesus, let's fix the world first, okay? Before we start digging up my ancient ancestors.
Deal.
With my luck, I'll be related to some third-rate Isu like Sisyphus or something.
Way to aim high, buddy.
Hey, you gotta.
Okay, that's interesting. That parallels a bit of Layla's experiences in the previous game, so that's interesting. And so, and Ezio was, I think, the first protagonist, and who else did he mention? Well, the first two he mentioned was basically the first, I don't know, was it 2 or 3 games? Or something like that, and Connor was also in a game. And he mentioned, oh, they might have been pirates. That's probably an allusion to Assassin's Creed Black Flag in some way. So I'm sure if I had played more of the Assassin's Creed games, there would be some more Easter eggs I would have noticed in that, and some more detail I could give you. Is your Wi-Fi laggy or what happened? What do you mean what happened? It looked fine from here, so I don't know what should have happened. I just closed the message, or what do you mean? Okay, Isu Messengers 1. Rebecca, before we meet at the site, I want you to see these. Last week I reviewed the logs from my time with Bayek. I came across some old notes. In the years I explored Cleopatra's Egypt, I stumbled across 6 Isu temples, most of which were buried beneath pharaonic tomb sites. You got a black screen and no audio after the message. Well, stream looks fine for me here on my Czech computer, so I guess your Czech computer doesn't work, but my computer for checking does. Yeah, it must. I guess it's your Wi-Fi or something. Before we meet at the site, I want you to see these. Stumbled across 6 Isu temples, most of which were buried beneath pharaonic tomb sites. Each temple contained an Isu message, clearly meant for one with the ability to read genetic memories. I was the lucky one. I don't believe they were intended for Bayek himself, as he seemed wholly unaware of the messages as they played. They may have been encoded in a way only someone with an animus could see them. It's been a few years since I last heard these messages, so my memory is foggy, but the notes I scribbled down have a clarity that I trust. Might be something to all this, I don't know. Often I grasp outside of my area of expertise. I'm enthusiastic, but often wrong. Let me know if something else strikes you. Wi-Fi doesn't reach the corner you're in. Ouch. Okay, so I think we saw these messages in Odyssey as well. Like, at the end we talked to Alethea and she gave us messages as we kind of, we explored things as Bayek. No, not as Bayek, as Cassandra. And found messages there that made no sense, or would have made no sense to Bayek, but kind of the idea was what Bayek heard, we in the future will experience, and that will help us. So kind of their way of sending messages forward in time. Message 1. Layers upon layers of reality, each blurring into the next. Which is real and which is not? What if none are real? What if everything you know is false? We ran thousands of simulations, searching for the right version, searching for Desmond. Each one of them felt real, but there's no way of truly knowing, is there? Not for sure. Anything can be simulated, and finding the answer could mean erasure. Teasing the assassin maxim, nothing is true, must be careful not to confuse truth with facts, however. A language game you will always lose. Though we may stumble in our attempts to interpret it, the world, the universe, reality, what have you, is always out there. I believe that, simulated or no. We could imagine a dozen nested simulations, and each one on the level of itself would constitute a full reality. Wolfram via Conway suggests the universe is a giant cellular automata. Conway's Game of Life, shout out, woo! And further, there is a point where the difference between simulated and real is meaningless. If the universe were a simulation, what would it matter? The simulation qua simulation itself would be real, and therefore everything within it would be real within the confines of the simulation. I guess if you simulate consciousness, then you have consciousness? Is that what she's saying? Say, a scientist were able to simulate pain by inducing only a few neurons to fire. No physical harm. I am in pain, the subject says. No, you only believe you are, says the scientist. This is meaningless, as is this. You thought you were in pain, but you were mistaken. I wonder if that's something that happened in Origins. Why does it make the sound of a floppy disk drive? This laptop must be ancient. Message 2, excerpt. No surprise, you were designed to have boundaries after all, and one cannot speak of that which one cannot conceive. The code, equations that define life. They are nestled deep within every star and every mote of dust. Every second that passes is a word, a symbol, all part of an intricate yet simple language existing within the framework of time itself. It is the one rule which applies to us all, immutable, inescapable. We know this. Humans were the instruments of an earlier species, the Isu. Resist the temptation to say superior, different. They were better suited to some tasks, ill-suited to others. Possessed of the mind that we cannot know. But that does not get us anywhere. What is it like to be an Isu? What is it like to be a bat? The implication that the Isu could read time is interesting, but if humans could read time, would it necessarily be in the same manner and for the same purpose? Whether constructed or evolved or a little of both as we are, we cannot be said to have been built to achieve the same ends. A round disc on its edge is a wheel, on its side a plate. How we use something can often determine its value and its perceived purpose. Message 3. Break the code, break the node. These walls tell of a tragic story, a story we transcribed on our structures, on our artifacts. A story we could not alter, a mystery defying us in plain sight. We tried. Our scholars and scientists, poets and physicists, bright minds, rebellious hearts. They all tried so hard to bring about change. We all failed. None could change what we discovered. The story is written into the walls of these rooms. The reader has no power. He is but an observer. But the author invents the future. The author owns the future. I think that was kind of the Isu thing. I remember something about, being able... Was that Assassin's Creed? About only being able to change the future? No, that was probably some book I read. Never mind then. I think I'm getting Gordon Dixon mixed into Assassin's Creed in my head right now. But maybe, there might be a parallel. So I reread a bunch of Gordon Dixon books recently, and one of the things that he said there was basically, you cannot really time travel, but you can, of course, influence the present to change the future. The present. And I don't remember what it exactly was, but he kind of found a trick where basically you changed the future, and then that let you, in a limited way, nudge the past to make the future more possible. And so he's sort of time traveled, but not really. And that sounds like it would fit well with Assassin's Creed, because the Isu kind of simulated the future and then tried to make it happen, I guess. The Toba catastrophe, a super volcanic event paired with a mass coronal ejection, was the beginning of the end for the Isu. Oh right, that was the cataclysm. Was one they encountered. It changed the Earth's environment, lowered its available oxygen levels, and generally fucked things up. The Isu never recovered. By our estimations, the last remaining Isu died just a century after the catastrophe. From that point forward, humans, their creation, ruled the roost. This disaster was not unforeseen. Isu scientists had known about their impending doom for years, perhaps decades, before the catastrophe occurred. To protect themselves, they worked feverishly to find a solution. 6 methods they tried, but due to a toxic combination of hubris, political infighting, and bad luck, all 6 failed. The final method proved the most promising and was nearly complete when tragedy struck. It was this method that Desmond Miles revived when he saved the world from a second solar flare in December 2012. Oh, okay, you're right, that was it. So we, in one game, Desmond found, that, and basically, so that was, I guess, what the Isu had predicted, that second solar flare would happen. I think there was something like that in the earlier games. As I said, I haven't played those, so I have only, vague memories of things I've read over time, or things that were mentioned in games I've played, or something like this. This voice laments the compounded failure of their species to save themselves, but the truth is broader than that. They, with Desmond, saved us. Success deferred. Then this message, break the code, break the node, insistent and very puzzling. Right, so I forgot that it wasn't just all in the future, it had actually already happened and it had been fixed in a previous game. ISO messengers. Linear continuity is a simulation that allows for variations. Within the linear continuity there are nodes, choke points, moments where algorithms converge. The flows of superposed possibilities Moments where algorithms converge the flows of superposed possibilities to a single moment, where only one absolute truth is possible. Paths are fluid, continuous. Nodes are static, changeless. And the wave function collapses the paths into nodes which branch out, again and again and again. Can you feel the wave collapsing, trying to course-correct Desmond's act of defiance? The incoming node needs the world to end. The algorithms have been carving the flow of possibilities towards that end for over 100 years now. Collapse the wave. Well outside my area of expertise, must contact someone who knows this shit better. But what it seems to be saying, the structure of space-time, the universe, is built in such a way that certain events or clusters of events are compelled to occur, a bottleneck through which space-time flows, and one nearly impossible to avoid. There is something about this catastrophe, the one Desmond averted in 2012, that compels it to return, indifferent to our fear of pain. It is a tidal wave rippling across the sea of space. It crashed once against the dike, and that stopped it for a time. But the sea rears back for another strike, and another and another. That gives some clarity to what is happening now, all around us, but it remains unclear how to change it, especially from within an animus, a simulation within a simulation. Okay, so now we know that while Desmond changed something, they think that you cannot really change time. And that's why we now have this weird yellow sun outside and things like that, and satellites crashing to the Earth. Interesting. ISO messengers. Wait, did we do 5 already? Yeah, we didn't do that yet. Reality is a mathematical model which gets solved over and over again by the observer. Your thoughts are computations, and they render this world for you to call your own. Not all processors are alike. Different brains produce different realities. The variations go from subtle to drastic. Your mind defines how much you can taste, how much you can feel, how much you can understand. Perception defines perspective. We designed you and made sure to engineer your senses so you could perceive just what we needed you to. Neither more nor less. There are parts of time we preferred you to remain blind to. It wasn't a necessity. Do they try to change the past back to on a better path? Reminds me of a story where someone realizes that they live in the most improbable timeline because their past had been influenced so much. Which story was that? Isaac Asimov, perhaps. I don't know. No, in the case of those Gordon Dixon stories, that was the child cycle, or Dorsai as it's called. And I think basically it was kind of like Dune, basically trying to lead humanity to kind of not peter out, and instead, creating like a future for humanity. If we could suddenly see time, that would not guarantee the same perception the Isu possessed. Let us speak of time as an entity, if we may. Let us say that time is a perceivable fact in the same way that light is a perceivable fact. The ability to see this fact in no way guarantees a sympathetic view. There are creatures stumbling around this earth that read light differently than we do, and for different purposes. Humans see in a well-known spectrum. Oh, I finally understand what Roy G. Biv means. We had that in, if you remember, it was mentioned in Sam and Max. They found Roy G. Biv and deduced from that it was, what was it? Short spoiler, don't listen to the name for a second if you haven't watched my Sam & Max stream or played Sam & Max, the Telltale game, the first season. So they knew that it was Hugh Bliss, and that guy has rainbows. And so ROYGBIV is red, orange, yellow, green, blue. What was I? And V is probably violet. Indigo, probably. And then violet. Yeah, that sounds right. So I guess that's something that that people in school in the US learn kind of to memorize the order of the colors of the rainbow. This sense of color is confined to the 3 cones we possess, yet nocturnal creatures see with a different scope for a different purpose. Night stalking, hunting, lurking. They evolved in concert with their needs and are now constrained by them, as are we. Light is only a fact seen askance and used differently by different species. To suggest that we might read time is to imply we have a specific use for time. The next chapter is unstoppable, and yet the greatest revolutions sometimes originate from the confines of impossibility, do they not? Reality is a simulation, break the code, and in so doing escape the inescapable. The Animus was humankind's first unconscious attempt to explain what it could not see. Understanding genetic memories, an eye into history. Your Animus is different, as is the mind that imagined it. It could escape the code. It could make that leap and make possible a decision that defies the order of things that are. It is ridiculous to imagine that I could change the nature of reality out there from within the confines of an animus, a simulation within this so-called simulation. But I believe I understand what this voice is telling me. My animus is endowed with the ability to suggest alterations to days long past. From any moment in time, I can extrapolate what might have been. Calculations of time. I am not confined to what was, but what could have been. Yes, history is real, facts do matter, but from any moment in time I choose within the animus. I can interrogate the memory. I can ask the world, what if Bayek and Aya had stayed together? What if Kemu had not been murdered? I can suggest these hypotheticals and watch how they unfold. Why would I want to? For knowledge, for a better understanding of what tragedies were avoided? It remains to be seen. Ooh, that's basically the in-universe explanation for the new Assassin's Creed games. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Like the big break between the Assassin's Creed games of old and the new ones was kind of... It started with Origins, where they gave you more RPG mechanics, but really the big break that people complain the most about, that, you know, were familiar with the old games, is Odyssey, where suddenly you were able to choose, you know, who you are, and are able to choose answers, like we did in this game. You know, because the background, of course, is that the backstory for Assassin's Creed is that you are a person in the Animus exploring the past, you know, finding out what actually happened. And I like that here they go now, sure, that's what we can do. But since this device basically takes goalposts from the genetic memories that we can still extract, and then, you know, extrapolates gaps in between them and, you know, shows them to you as images that you can consume. It's already doing so much work that we can as well also say, okay, but let's just assume this goalpost had not happened. And so I like that they actually find a nice in-universe explanation here for allowing us to keep making decisions in Assassin's Creed games. Hi Bones, how is it going? Have you had a good time so far? I'm in Assassin's Creed Valhalla right now, but I'm in present day reading through the laptop, so this is probably not the most exciting stream, and I'm not sure if I'll get back into much gameplay by the time I have to end this stream, because I have about 40 minutes left. Alright, so we've seen, so that's nice. I am, in a sense, a reader of the calculations, as the Isu were in days past. Perhaps one day I will be able to harness this talent to see into the future. To predict, to correct, to avoid. That would be worth something. That's cool. Ah, okay, I haven't left the first area yet. Well, I think this point is actually, like, right now, it's fairly spoiler-free. It's more, you know, as these moments are, they're more giving you backstory right now. You're still stabbing and shooting your way through. Shooting? Oh yeah, arrows. Okay, yeah. I was just going like, wait, do we get guns? I must have missed the guns. Staff of Hermes Trismegistus. That's Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Acquired from the Eagle Bearer Cassandra 2018. Presumed manufacture date late in the Isu Singularity Age. 75,100 BCE. About 2,200 IE. I guess that's Isu era or something like that. Yeah, arrows, no guns. I know. It just took me a moment to... Oh yeah, I was shooting, of course, because I have a bow. This staff, one of many Isu staves known to us, is first and foremost a medical device with the ability to heal, repair, restore, and rejuvenate organic tissues with unprecedented swiftness. Unprecedented swiftness. That's a hard word. You get guns in Syndicate, though. Yeah, yeah. I've actually played a little bit of Syndicate a while ago before Valhalla came out. Not on stream, but like just at home. It's an interesting game. But it's, you know, like, I'm more a fan of the new games. So, you know, not having the decisions and it not being as much of an RPG. Syndicate wasn't quite... you know, like, I prefer playing this game and then I might go back to Syndicate because, you know, like, I've played all the ones that are really the games I want to play. Yes, Syndicate is good. Like, the story I love. Like, I think most of the Assassin's Creed games have a great story. News at 9. Evil Verbs perform another unprecedented strike against streamers. Okay, Und jetzt in den 9 Uhr Nachrichten. Böse Worte. Böse Worte führen einen erneuten, noch nie dagewesenen Angriff gegen Streamer aus. That would be kind of what that is in German. Thank you for that redeem, Mel. Put your kibble to some use. But yeah, I like Syndicate. It's It's a little annoying that you're kind of forced to play as this character or this character. Thank you for the host, Mel, by the way. But I love Syndicate itself, and it's a nice, you know, it's a nice world as well. So that's great. And there's a lot of fun mini games there. Like you can see kind of where Odyssey, like when after having played Odyssey, seeing, experiencing Syndicate and seeing a few streams as well, kind of made me realize, okay, this is where this came from, or maybe was even perfected or something. So it's a cool game. Okay. The staff, one of many ISO staves known to us, is first and foremost a medical device with the ability to heal, repair, restore, and rejuvenate organic tissues with unprecedented swiftness. It has been known to extend the life of its bearers well beyond the average human and ISO lifespans, and is presumed to have the ability to resuscitate living creatures in critical or suspended states. It has not been verified in this if the staff has the ability to resurrect the dead, but this seems unlikely based on its known features. Oh, isn't böse angry, or does it cover evil as well? It covers evil as well. Can mean angry as in, I am angry, cross at you. Evil can also be schlecht, but schlechte Worte sounds odd, yeah. Like, schlecht can be, you know, bad in quality. So, if you say schlechte Worte, it kind of sounds like more like ill-fitting words, you know? And böse, yeah, böse is kind of bösartig. And that's kind of evil words would be bösartige Worte. If you can even, you know, like, you're personifying words. Well, he was probably just angry I made him say unprecedented again. Unprecedented. You know, that's when the election falls through or something like that. Practice! Yes. Okay, so it can't resurrect the dead. Boo. It appears to work by reading and copying its bearer's DNA to ensure perfect replication on a broad scale. It is able to detect erroneous copies and deploy repairs so long as its bearer remains within direct contact. It has been used as a weapon infrequently, possibly by taking advantage of the tremendous power it draws from the Isu's wireless energy lattice. Okay, so apparently they have, like, Tesla-style wireless energy, the Isu. That's cool. These words are of bad quality. I want my money back. I want to direct bad words at the manager. You're relying on your German from 30 years ago, so yeah, it's you would use böse, like in most cases where you would say evil about a person. Yeah, you could go with schlecht, I guess, but yeah, it's like a language subtlety. I'd have to think about it some more to figure out like where the line is drawn and why. It's something I do more intuitively, you know. You also thought you heard of someone who got unprecedented recently. The staff has... Okay. The staff has also acted as a conduit or a container for the personality of an Isu called Alethea. It is not known if this personality is Alethea's original consciousness or a simulation of the original, though most neuroscientists would call this distinction without a difference. As of early 2019, the entity known as Alethea has made no further attempts to contact me. As yet, my purpose as the so-called Ear of Memories, as Alethea has dubbed me, remains unclear. No known bearers: Hermes Trismegistus, Pythagoras, Cassandra. Okay. So we know that. My stuff. Pictures. Okay, those are our companions here. That's the Animus. That's a nice aurora around the blockhouse we're in. That's the campfire in front of the blockhouse. That's the landing or whatever at the edge of the mountain we are nearby. That's Eivor's gravesite, I guess, that we saw earlier. And that's a pulled out shot of that. Okay. What is the secure share? Empty. Okay. Okay, we've had those already. And we've had the media and the mailbox. So all we can check out is trash. Oberg interrogation. You should have your paws on Miles tomorrow. Yay! Yeah, supposedly the mailman is supposed to arrive today to get me my disc, so we'll see if I get Spider-Man Miles Morales today. I'm looking forward to that game. It, you know, the first Spider-Man game that they did was already pretty good. 2 years ago, was it already 2 years ago, right? I think Spider-Man was 2018, the game. It's been so long. Alright. File corrupted. Monsieur and Madame Bipot, my name is Laila Hassan. I was a friend and colleague of Victoria's both at Abstergo and in subsequent film careers. In all the time I knew and worked with your daughter, I was always struck by her limitless intelligence, her humor, and her ability to focus even in times of great stress. She was an inspiration, not just to me, but to all those who worked with her. I am writing to you now with the hope of shedding some light on the circumstances of her death. I realize it must be strange to receive a letter out of the blue from someone whose name you have probably never heard, offering to explain the tragic loss of one so dear, but if you'll allow me, I'll try. I was with your daughter in the moments leading up to the unfortunate incident that took her life. In fact, I am partly to blame for... And I guess that's all she wrote. I'm glad that the letter stops at that point, because I didn't really want to spoil much and was already, oh damn it, it actually says that it's her. That's just a spoiler for, you know, the previous game, so not that bad. If you've watched these streams attentively, no, then you don't know, because I didn't stream that part. Well, it was 2018. Just seems current because you keep replaying it and appears to be your first time playing through. Hey, you're doing pretty well. Will you go 500 miles and then 500 more? Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Okay, we've logged out of the laptop, so I guess all that's left is talking to humans. This is this nice staff that we have. It's kind of a weird way to transport it in a crate that is transparent.
Hello, Layla.
Sean, what do you make of the grave out there?
Well, it overturns a few hundred years of scholarship about the first Europeans to set foot in North America. Apart from that, it's just a bunch of muddy bones, isn't it?
Can we talk about this thing on my neck for a second?
Ah, the mood stabilizer. Yes.
It's not harmful, is it? I mean, I feel good, but I want to make sure there's no side effects.
There shouldn't be. It's only blocking outside signals, a passive effect. So the staff doesn't, you know, mess with you.
Sean, what happened last year, I had no control over that. I tried to resist.
I understand. And your old team, maybe they don't. But we've seen that sort of thing before. Still, if you want to work with us and get to the bottom of why the world is about to end for the second time in 8 years, then you wear that thing until we say otherwise. William's orders.
I know. It's not a problem.
It's just a few more weeks, yeah? Just until we figure this out.
You're right. I know you're right.
So I mean that on one hand, you know, could just be, you know, exposition to explain why she's fine now. Although she looks a little more emaciated. On the other hand, it could also imply that, you know, like, what does it? It stabilizes her mood. Does it do anything more, you know? Does it, like, manipulate her mind? Are these really her friends? Or are these, you know, Templars who are using her or something like that? That could always be a plot twist that they'll throw at us later. And of course she said that she hasn't heard from Alethea anymore, so the question is, how long has she had this thing? Does this thing maybe block Alethea as well, and not just the staff's other influence?
Feeling okay?
Better. But I'm worried that it could happen again. The 2 data streams.
I can't promise it won't. I barely understand it myself.
It felt like 2 minds, fighting over 1 brain. It hurt like a shotgun to the head.
Right. There's something about this Vikings DNA sample that feels dense, noisy.
Could it be the staff? Interfering somehow?
How do you mean?
My headaches, my temper. They started the day I got that thing.
I hope you're not making excuses for, you know, your friend.
Jesus, no. I'm not.
Sorry. Just take it easy. And if you feel yourself slipping again, let us know.
I'm trying. I really am.
Okay. And I guess that's it. Anything else we can do here? Good pretty landscapes. Check out what computer setup they have. We're going back in. Wait, there's another door here. Does that lead anywhere interesting? Oh, that's open now. Okay. That was closed a moment ago. I guess they're doing the old, Germanic custom of Stoßlüften. Airing by causing a draft and, you know, kind of instantly exchanging the air in the room, or at least quickly, and then closing everything up again so the heat stays in. Enter the Animus.
All right, time to go. Norway to England takes about a week by long ship, so I'll scrub ahead.
That's nice. They let us skip.
Layla, you okay?
Sorry. Can you play the message again?
We have the transcript. If you're looking for something, I can
No,
go and...
I want to hear it.
Okay.
I don't mean to be cryptic. It's just... that message led us here. To this place. To a Norse grave in North America. So those bones out there are the only lead we have. Our only chance at fixing this planet before it's too late.
Here it is.
I lived, I died, and now I sleep. And in my sleep I dream. And in my dreams I see an end to the doom that will grip the earth once again. Find the wolf-kissed. Find the mad one. Find me. And save us all from another death.
Unsettling, that is.
That pulse in the message. Are you sure it's just coordinates? Nothing else?
Nothing I can find.
Okay, I'm ready.
Here we go.
It's memory foam, which is why it's shaped like her. What? Consult with Runway at the Alliance map in your longhouse to gain access to new opportunities and adventures. Hello, Ivor. So I wonder if this is the point where if we had set it to, you know, switch between male and female Ivor, if this is the point where we would be male Ivor. What you don't understand yet, do they meet an instance of themselves in the past, or do they marionette a stranger into what they want to do? That Scott is doing.
Our new home.
Not a patch on Norway, but we'll make this land our own soon enough.
I'm glad to see any land at all, and will be happy to have my feet on solid ground again.
We must not rush our landing. All you see here is Saxon territory. The Kingdom of Mercia, largely unpacified. There will be eyes watching us from the trees, with bows drawn and traps set. We must be wary. Randi, dig in your oars! All standing!
Have you spotted something?
Not yet. But let us go ahead to clear the path of any dangers. Then follow our lead when the sun brushes the horizon.
Understood. May Thor bless you all on your way. We will see you soon.
Sail on.
Yes, I'm ready for whatever these green-thumbed fairy folk have to throw at us.
Sigurd, do the sons of Ragnar know that we're coming?
They do not, but they will not scoff at our visit. Of the 4 kingdoms in England, the sons of Ragnar have settled only one. The rest is ripe for the taking.
Do we mean to join their army?
No, no. We will speak with them, get the lay of the land, and carve this country into as many pieces as we see fit.
Look ahead there! Is that what passes for a town? Plain brick in a single rune to their timid god?
That rune is called a root, Doug. The cross upon which their god was sacrificed. It sits atop a monastery, a place of worship.
That cross killed their Christ, and now they display it in worship? Bizarre.
We carve idols of our gods and make wishes before them. Like our sacrifices to Odin.
Where are we supposed to go? Okay, we don't have an objective yet.
We do not worship the wolf that kills him. That is the difference.
Whatever strangeness we see in these Saxons, they must think the same of us.
The hammer! Now there is a symbol worthy of a god. A bolt of lightning would take that cross clean off. Look there! What are they doing?
Ritual drowning.
Baptism, Doug. Are the ways of Christians really so unfamiliar to you?
Not at all. I simply forgot. And someone has to keep the conversation up. It must be priests and worshippers alone in that place. We could storm this port with ease. Sack it without breaking a sweat.
Is there much in the way of treasure there?
Always! They shape precious metals and cut jewels to their gods. There will be a fortune there.
Later, Dag. There will be time enough for raiding once we have settled.
Okay, it's an interesting way.
Come to, stop the boats. Pull up over there. Way forward is blocked by a chain spanning the river. We must remove it before pressing on.
A chain? Can we cut through it?
It's too thick for access. But there must be a way to release it, somewhere in that camp.
I will go.
And I will be right behind you.
No, Dag. You stay here. Should trouble come our way, I want you defending the ship.
A good idea. Send out the arrow and keep your sharpest axe at hand, huh?
Something like that.
What do you think you're doing?
Alright, so until this point I had no control, by the way, so I wasn't like driving the ship or anything. You have a meeting, be right back. Okay, see you, Bones. I'll probably be here only for 15 more minutes, so probably won't see you. Have a good meeting and have a good rest of the day. Mel said, the Scot is doing a good Oxbridge accent, by the way. Guessing he was educated at one of the unis and the accent stuck. What you don't understand yet. Do they meet an instance of themselves in the past, or do they marionette a stranger into what they want to do? Basically, this animus thing is, you know, they're reliving a simulation of the memories of that person. So it's, the person is usually an ancestor of theirs, I think, because, like, I don't know the details, but I think it's like they need DNA, and they also need people who are descended from the person they have DNA of, which was kind of how the first game started, that the person that got pulled in there didn't know it, but was a descendant of like a historical assassin. And they needed that person to find out what was going on there. And you know, to explore that history. Okay. So release the naval chain. So the question is, where is that chain? So we came from there, right? So I guess somewhere ahead of us. Ah, okay, that's the chain. So we either take over the fort or that one. I don't think I'll be doing that in 15 minutes, though. So let's go over there and explore a little. My guess is we'll have to go into the base proper, but who knows. Sometimes they give you the ability to, you know, if you go over there, you can actually, you know, work faster. So let's just try this out. Although, let me just quick save. Okay, that's the side it's fixed to, I guess. And I guess somewhere over there. Yeah, so that wasn't the idea to just let us unhook it on the other side. I mean, that would be a pretty silly way of doing things. Okay, so I guess this is where we will end our stream today. So thank you for being here. and I hope you enjoyed it so far. There will be more Assassin's Creed Valhalla tomorrow. And then, of course, on Sunday, we will be resuming with Grim Fandango. A literal blockchain. Yes, indeed. It's a chain that blocks our way. Wait, I have something for that. Alright, so, as always, the spiel, you already know it probably. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, tomorrow, again at 7 Central European Time, AM, until 10, which is, you know, which will soon be. Hope to see you again then to find out how we will remove this chain. It will probably involve depopulating this fort a little bit. I'm looking forward to that because I love stealthing forts. So yeah. And apart from that, yeah, there will be a Sunday stream, and then of course on Monday we will be back for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And everyone else who's playing this game, you know, and wants to watch along but doesn't want to get spoiled, there will be, the weekend is your opportunity to catch up. So hopefully we will see you then. And you will be able to continue watching without spoiling yourself in any undue fashion. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.